Hey guys, this is FPL and welcome to the first live stream of this season. Hi Varun, hi Blue, hi Jack. Just confirm once if you guys can see the screen and hear me clearly. Yes, they can hear me clearly. So before we start on the stream tonight, we have a special guest with us. We have a co-team member from the FPL Tips team. Please welcome Mr. Anirudh Nayak.
Hello, guys.
So, hi Anirudh. Can you guys hear Anirudh and me both? Hi, Yajat. It's good to have you guys back. It's good to be back on the live stream. Luke can see and hear as well. Just confirm if you guys can hear Anirudh as well, or is his voice too distorted or something like that? Okay, no, it's not big man. We'll have big man. Don't worry. Yes. So I haven't looked into FPL right now. We'll give it a look. We'll take your questions as well, and we'll try to make a team out of it. Okay, so we have the first question from Varun Anirudh. He says that being a Chelsea fan, your thoughts on Chelsea, Werner to hit the ground running, Ziyech, and then Pulisic fit. I think Pulisic is not going to be fit for the first 2 weeks. With Werner, I think yes, he'll be doing good as a striker. I'm not sure about Ziyech. What do you think, Anirudh?
Personally, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but Chelsea for me next season and for the seasons to come is probably the most exciting team to look towards. Like Werner, like after Lewandowski top scorer in the Bundesliga consistently, I think he can be good. I think it might take some time to adjust for both Ziyech and Werner, but I think it's looking good. And Pulisic at 8.5 million is a really good buy, just like last year. But I think, yeah, about his fitness, you'll have to tell me about that.
I think he's not fit at the moment, but we'll see in the later on. Okay, so let's get the FPL started. Let's get the keepers or maybe the first pick you want to put into this team. A lot of people out there would put in Trent, but as everyone knows right now on the stream, I am not that a big Trent fan, and he's not going to be my first pick. Who's going to be your first pick, Anirudh?
Defense,
In general, in
I
your team.
think in defense, okay, for me personally, it would be Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, I know he has a blank game week in the beginning, but I still feel that he's such a consistent option for me, especially. So I think for me, the bang starter will be Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay, so we have
But
Kevin De
I
Bruyne.
am one of those people who believe that Trent is a great option.
So okay, we start with Kevin De Bruyne. Hi Javed, it's good to have you back. Luke says he's a Chelsea fan. I'm very excited. I think Chelsea is going to sign Thiago Silva. We're really, really close to signing him. So that will definitely improve the defense. And it's a good sign. We also signed a young youth player from Barcelona, and he's expected to be the next Van Dijk or something like that. So really excited about the future, even in the aspects of defense. A lot of people saying De Bruyne.
What do you think about Kai Havertz?
Uh, Kai Havertz is still on the cards. I mean, honestly, looking at FPL terms, I wouldn't want Kai Havertz to come to Premier League because then the likes of Mount coming in at 7 million just goes off. So if there's no Kai Havertz, Mount could be a really good pick for the season. Otherwise, with Havertz, then Werner is a must. I mean, the play that Havertz makes in general in Bundesliga has been doing so great. Werner will definitely feed off those balls and score a lot of goals. Javed says hopefully our streams are going to be interesting. Javed, don't worry, we still might have leaked lineups. There's no confirmation though, but definitely the streams will still be that interesting. We're doing a we're doing a free hit. We're doing a first draft, not free hit draft. So the first player we've put in is De Bruyne. I think the second player I would put in is actually Trent because it's a more general pick, and most of the people out there will have Alexander Arnold in their team. I think we lost Anirudh for a while. I'm not able to hear him as well. Varun says frontline Ings, Mitro, and Werner. I'm not sure about the three. I'm sure about Werner though.
Um, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I know, like we can hear you now. Do you think Werner will start actually scoring from game week one? That's a question by Jake.
I mean, it's tough to say because the Premier League takes a time to get used to it. But Werner has been like a bang on goal scorer for a long time. So I don't know about game week one, but I think he should settle in quite comfortably. But for game week, I would hold out on him.
Okay, who's going to be our next pick? We have Trent in the team. We have De Bruyne. Who next?
Um, why don't you go for one now?
I think I'll go with a keeper. I am at the
Yeah.
moment inclined to McCarthy. Looks good. Fixtures are decent. The other option in my mind is actually Ramsdale. Sheffield United have a decent run of fixtures. They're not great fixtures, but decent. And we've seen in the past that Sheffield United are capable of keeping clean sheets. That's something I actually thinking of bringing in.
I agree. I think Ramsdale will be a great option. I mean, Sheffield United just bought him from Bournemouth. He's a good young keeper. But do you think because he's 5 million, he might not be that great an option because he's not exactly cheap?
He's not cheap, but if you consider in the long run, Ramsdale will eventually have more saves than McCarthy. He'll probably have a couple of
Yeah.
bonus points. And with regard to Sheffield United, you know that they keep a lot of clean sheets. They are reliable as of now. With Southampton, I'm not sure. I mean, the fixtures on paper are good, but are they reliable really? I'm not sure.
Also, one question is, will Sheffield United be able to carry out last season's form in this season? You know, most teams have a second season syndrome.
Yeah, but that's there. But I think Sheffield United is still decent defensively. We have a
Yeah,
couple of
defensively,
questions.
yes, I agree.
Uh, Javed, he has a plan in his head. Javed, everyone has a plan. I think we're gonna discuss that. What should be a strategy going into game week one, especially knowing that it's gonna be a blank game week. Yes, says where do you think Werner will line up in the Chelsea team? He's gonna play as a striker. I don't see him playing at the wing, especially with the likes of Pulisic, Ziyech, Loftus-Cheek, Mount, or even Callum Hudson-Odoi. So striker is the position. Varun says bring in Salah. We'll bring in Salah, but that's not the price. We'll go from keeper, defense, midfield, and then strikers. So I think I'm going to put Ramsdale as an. I think we're just going to see if he fits in the budget. Alongside Ramsdale, it has to be Button, without a doubt.
Button or any 4.0
I think
keeper.
there's another thing. If not Button, you can keep Nyland if he gets a chance. Although Heaton is fit and he's back, but you never know. Nyland could be
Yeah.
a playing 4 million keeper as well. So I'm going to keep Nyland in
He
my team.
could be. I mean, out of all the 4.0 keepers, I think he's probably the most likely to play. But since Heaton is fit and Nyland didn't have the best two games or best few games when he played last season, so but yeah, out of the 4 million keepers, he's probably the best option.
He's best. He's the best option out of the 4 million. You can actually somewhere, if needed, rotate him as well. Varun says 4.5 McCarthy and Ryan rotation. Keep and forget. I actually don't
Yeah.
favor the rotation keeper rotation because it never works out honestly. Because um, at max, I don't expect a lot of from my keeper. If you go by price points, I expect 4 to 5 points every alternate games. Rotating a keeper is actually risky. I would just pick one of them, either McCarthy or Ryan. I was initially inclined to Ryan, but McCarthy has better fixtures right now. Just pick one and stick to it.
Personally, what I go for with keepers is I usually select them last. I mean, I don't really focus on them because I know they're going to give me the least number of points. So what I do is I go through my entire team and maybe select the keeper last. And I don't believe in rotation either because I feel keepers are very, it's hit and miss.
Well, that's true. They give us the least number of points. Not exactly the least, but relatively. Um, YOLO
Yeah.
Gamer says, "Hi man, hi YOLO Gamer. Is this your first game week team, Kevin De Bruyne for game week one? This is somewhat the first draft we are putting out. It's not necessarily the first game week team. We discussed that as well. Uh, Varun says rather than spending 5 and 4 million on keeper, do 4.5 Ryan and McCarthy. Well, yeah, that makes sense as well. If you're taking Ramsdale, then that would work out. But I think Nyland plus Ramsdale also actually, if Heaton is out, then it could be playing keepers as well. I would stick to Ramsdale over McCarthy and Ryan, honestly. Okay, moving on. In defense, I think the 4 million defender. I mean, a lot of people would have this question: who's going to be the 4 million defender this season? And according to me, it's Ferguson from Crystal Palace. Uh, right back, likely to start. Crystal Palace, if you see their fixtures on the screen, they have a run of green fixtures from game week 5 to game week 13. And the only big side they play is probably Wolves and Tottenham. And I think Crystal Palace defense is going to do good as usual as every season. I think Ferguson could be the 4 million defender. Like last year, we had Kelly, I think. We have a lot of
Do you
questions.
think Ferguson will start?
Yeah, I think Ferguson will start. I think Ferguson will start. And if I had to keep someone 4 million, I would buy Ferguson. A lot of people are saying fill up the midfield. We'll fill up the midfield. Okay, people are wanting us to fill up the midfield. With the midfield, it's pretty much obvious, to be honest. We've got to have Salah. Since we have De Bruyne, there's no space for Aubameyang. So those are the first two midfielders on my team. Do you think is it wise to triple up on Aubameyang, De Bruyne, and Salah?
So personally, I mean, it would be ideal, but I just compared to the increased prices this year, I just don't think that will be too viable. But as an option, Aubameyang is one of the best. So, and now that he scores more, he'll be getting more points because it's from midfield. So I think Aubameyang is a great option, but I just don't know about the tripling up of the big names.
Honestly, tripling up does not seem the option to me. If you ask a general strategy for me this year, 4-4-2 or maybe 3-4-3 is what I'm looking at, and I'm going to rotate De Bruyne to Sterling, Sterling to Aubameyang a lot. I think Salah is going to be uh, something someone whom I'm going to keep the entire season, but De Bruyne will be
Okay,
rotated. Also,
makes
exactly
sense.
said that Aubameyang scores a lot of goals, and he'll get the extra goal point. He'll get more clean sheet points. So
Yeah.
definitely, I think he'll be one of the top three highest scorers for FPL 2021 and 2020 2021. Okay, we have a couple of questions. Will Mitchell start? Jack Mitchell will start only the first two game weeks, I think, when Patrick Van Aanholt is missing. It's not a long term pick. If you want to pick him early and probably want to play wildcard in game week 3, then you can go for him. But I think when once Van Aanholt is back, he'll not start.
So, Varun, sorry, who is asked? Somebody has asked, what do you think about Luke Thomas?
Luke Thomas actually is on my team. The next
Okay.
defender I was going to pick was Luke Thomas. With all the Chilwell syndrome going on at the moment. He's going to go out, he's going to stay, nobody knows. But if he gets a transfer to Chelsea, Luke Thomas is definitely named and he's 4.5 million. That's really cheap for a player from Leicester who have proven that they're
Yeah,
defensively really sound. Actually, Luke Thomas
like
was definitely on my team.
last year we had James Justin. Now that Ricardo Pereira is fit, he will start. So I think Luke Thomas could be the option to go for because we all could see how good Leicester was last year defensively.
Yes. Yash Sharma says, will Brathwaite start? I think Brathwaite will not start once Yerry Mina and I think the other centre back from Everton is fit. I'm not sure who he is. I forgot his name. It's
Holgate,
Holgate. Yeah,
Mason
Holgate
Holgate.
is fit. Yeah. So once they're fit, he'll not start. And I'm not sure if Everton are really that good a side to bank on defense. Probably this year looks like to me
Um,
having a lot of 4.5 defenders in your defense. You have a lot of options. You look at Kyle Walker Peters, you have Thomas, Ferguson. If Trent is injured at the moment, if he stays injured for long, then you have Neco Williams. You have Vinagre for the start. You have Dallas. Dallas is someone who's going to be really, really differential this year. Luke is saying I'm going to switch over to Kevin De
uh,
Bruyne. in probably game week 3. That's the strategy. If you're planning to get Aubameyang in the first two game weeks, you can do that because he faces, I think, Fulham and West Ham. Perfect start for him, I would suppose. He's also a captaincy choice for a lot of people.
I think that would be the way to go. I mean, for now, select Aubameyang and then maybe replace him with Kevin De Bruyne or Raheem Sterling.
Okay, so we'll start with then removing Kevin De Bruyne. Let's put in a team for game week 1 actually. So I'm planning to
One,
bring in
okay.
Aubameyang, getting Salah for sure. Ramsdale or maybe McCarthy. That let's leave it up to the end. I think Son or Kane. What do you think are the Tottenham assets? A lot of people are going to overlook them. A lot of people will bank them highly. My point of view is that Tottenham
So
are playing the qualifications up till game week 4. They have midweek matches, they have the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and the regular Premier League fixtures. So fatigue is something that's going to play a very important role. Also, their squad depth is not that great. So you know that Son and Kane and the likes of Moore are going to play game week in and out.
I agree, but I feel Kane is like he cannot be rested, especially because he plays such a key role for Tottenham. I don't think Mourinho will rest him. I know the fatigue comes a lot into it because they'll be playing multiple competitions. But for me personally, I think I would go for Harry Kane as striker, even though he costs around 12 million. I think if he finds his goal scoring form that he somewhat did towards the end of last season, he could be a great option.
So okay, for the first two game
Uh,
weeks, I think they have an easy fixture against Newcastle, probably Everton as well. So we can look at the likes of Harry Kane, and they have a green patch of fixtures up till game week 5. Game week 8, actually, with only Manchester United the higher side. So Harry Kane looks like
yeah.
a good option in the attack. Jack says Kyle Walker or Thomas. If Thomas is nailed on, I would go with Thomas. Otherwise, Kyle Walker is the obvious choice. Others says I am owning Salah and Mane both, considering how points are spread for Liverpool. We'll come to the Liverpool topic actually in a bit. Just a couple of more picks because I really want to talk about Liverpool specifically and why I think that actually getting in Trent or even Gomez or Van Dijk and Robertson might not be the greatest choice. So Yata says Spurs will play their second team. We never know. I don't think they'll be a second. They don't have a second team, honestly. Is Jimenez a good pick? Looking at the fixtures, Jimenez is still a good pick. If you're buying someone at 8.5, I would buy Jimenez over Ings. How about Laka and Oba for game week 1 and to double up? I think Laka might not start with the links going on with Atletico Madrid.
And Lacazette is also linked to Juventus.
Yeah, so Laka might not start. Best attacker in 6 million, I think Mitrovic. For me, it's either Bamford or Mitrovic. Most people will go for Mitrovic, and he looks like the best replacement.
So, considering Lacazette's suppose transfer rumors do come true, do you think Aubameyang will be the one starting up top?
I think Aubameyang in general will start up top. They've started to take a formation of 3-4-3 where Aubameyang now does not drift wide and actually attacks to the center. So irrespectively of Laka playing or not, Aubameyang will be the center man and the main person for Arsenal, I think. So I added Mitrovic to the team. I think the best budget attacker this season is going to be Mitrovic. We know he's FPL proven. He scored in the past years. And Fulham is decent, honestly. I don't expect a lot of goals from Fulham, but coming at 6 million, a goal in a couple of games will be
Yeah,
fine.
he was also the top scorer of the championship last year.
Yes, well, that worked out well for Pookie till up till what game week 13, and then it faded out.
13. But I think Fulham have like a string of decent fixtures for now, and I think Mitrovic could be the man to go for.
Okay, okay. So a lot of people are asking 6 million midfielder, and there's a couple of people asking Werner. I think Werner is a pick for me. What do you think? Attack Werner or Marshall? I think I'm going to start with Werner and probably later on
Yeah,
downgrade Kane to Marshall.
I mean, maybe we should start with Werner because what I've seen this season is there aren't that many premium strikers on the board that we could actually pick. I mean, of course, there's Aguero, there's Kane, Vardy, very unsure about. So I think Werner could be the one.
I think the people who
If
are saying that Kane is not a good pick, you could actually opt for Vardy. Vardy has a very good run of fixtures. In the first five, especially, most people will target their wildcard around game week 6. So Leicester face West Brom, I think Burnley, Man City, West Ham, Aston Villa, and Arsenal, and then Leeds United in the first 7 game weeks. So picking up someone from Leicester is a must. Maybe Vardy if you have the budget. I would recommend someone like Madison or maybe Barnes. Like last year, Barnes is going to be a good pick if he's starting. If he starts, he's definitely in my team.
I think Harvey Barnes is a great option, even though now his price has been bumped up to I think 7 million.
Yes, 7
I
million.
still 7 million or 7.5 million, but I think either way he plays winger and he's very involved in the play. So I think Harvey Barnes could be the one to go for, even though he's 7 million.
Very,
Madison,
Varun says, would you pick Perez or Barnes? I mean, I would pick Barnes. What do you think?
yeah, me too. I think Barnes would be the one to go for because, of course, I personally think he's a better player and he is very much more involved. Even though Perez, I feel, is very inconsistent. Sometimes it's sports of form, and other times is quite useless. So I think Barnes should be the one to go for. Even though I think Perez is a little cheaper.
Okay, we have a good question from Blue. Should Trent be the only premium defender in our teams, or is it the likes of Doherty or Laporte? I think, honestly, if you want to pay someone like for a defender 7.5 million, it has to be only Trent. He offers 200 points, and I think it is justified at some moment of time. Laporte and Doherty would not offer that much.
I agree. I mean, and also now with all the attackers being highly priced, we're going to have to cut out somewhere, and that mostly could be the defense. And having two premium midfielders just doesn't make sense for the entire team. And Trent already being 7.5, he should be the option to go for, and maybe Doherty and even suppose other Liverpool defenders might not be the preferred. Like in terms of if you already have Trent, you should that's all you should go with.
Okay, the next question we have is WordPress. Gavin has mentioned it twice. I think WordPress. Uh, WordPress is not necessarily the first person I would pick. If I had to pick someone from Southampton, maybe it would be Stuart Armstrong. I would pick him. He's 5.5. Good option. I would pick him over Saint Maximin actually. Danny Ings proven. Although there's a very underdog player out there, Che Adams.
Small bone.
Small bone as
What do you
well.
think about William Smallbone?
He's a decent. I'm not seen him play a lot, but if you look at the attack, Che Adams' numbers have been amazing after the restart. Whenever he's played or started and played a decent amount of minutes. So if someone who's looking for a Southampton player, if Che Adams is starting, I would pick him over Ings because that saves you 2.5 million, which is a lot, and he'll offer more value to the price.
I didn't watch William Smallbone play that much, but I saw him contributing a bit towards the end after the restart, and he's the cheapest midfielder. He's only 4.5 million. So I feel, do you think he could be a good option for the fifth midfielder?
Smallbone for a fifth midfielder is a good option. He's 4.5 as correctly stated. Yes, a lot of people are going for Suchek. I'm not sure if Suchek is the right pick because he's essentially someone like Fellaini. I mean, if you had Fellaini in United right now, would you go for him? My answer would be straight no. And that's the exact case. Although he's good at corners, the same case with Fellaini, but I would not still go for Suchek. I think it's like a fallacy, and I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah.
convinced if I have to buy Suchek at the moment.
Suchek was involved in a lot of goals and assists towards the end, but I don't think he's the kind of player who's a good FPL option. As you rightly point out, he's like Fellaini, who could be. And also, one more thing is West Ham have really tough fixtures. Like their first seven include Arsenal, Leicester, Spurs, Man City, and Liverpool.
Yes,
So for now, I think we should hold out on all the West Ham assets. What do you think?
I think I was going to pick Antonio, who's 6.5 attacker over Mitrovic, but looking at the fixtures, I would not actually pick Antonio. Okay,
Yeah.
getting the next question in double Wolves defend is viable for double Wolves defend. Is it a good option looking at the fixtures? Honestly, I would not
Um,
go for it. I'm not convinced actually if it's the best way to go about it.
I agree. I mean, Wolves are usually a very good defensive unit as a whole, but I just don't see them keeping as many clean sheets, and doubling up is quite risky. So I think we should go for one Wolves defender for now.
Maybe after game week 3, if you're playing wildcard, you can actually,
Yeah.
but then later on again after game week 8, you have Leicester, Southampton, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Burnley. Manchester United. So that's where somewhere your defense will deteriorate a bit. Vinagre till the time that Gulman is not signed is a good option. Once Gulman is signed, I think there'll be a lot of competition for places.
Do you think Ruben Vignari will start? Will be a nailed-on starter?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, mate.
I think Johnny could start mostly.
Johnny, I think if he's fit, he'll start, but he's not fit at the moment, so he's out for at least 6 months. There's no timeline of when he'll be back.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, a
Then
lot
I
of
think Vignari.
yeah, Vinagre I think is nailed on for a really really long time. A lot of people asking Armstrong or Redmond, Armstrong greater than 6 million. I think 6 million midfielders are not good at the moment. I've not seen a single good 6 million midfielder. A lot of people are saying Foden, but you don't know where Foden will start, especially when after the signing of Ferland Torres. There might be OR who might be signed, so we do not know if Foden will start. The only good midfielder around that price is probably Armstrong. If you ask me, he's the best option from Southampton after Danny Ings. Uh, the second good option I have is Saint Maxim. Either of them looks good. That answers a lot of
I
questions
think
in the chat.
Saint Maximin will be a good option considering how important he is and how important he's on the pitch for Newcastle. But I think the Foden situation matters on where Pep Guardiola decides to play him. If it's more on a David Silva kind of role from last year, he could be starting. Don't know. But if it comes to the more wing part, I think Ferran Torres now is competition for him. But it depends on where Pep Guardiola chooses to start Foden. That's the question.
Okay, we have a lot of question for Ziyech as well. Would you get in Ziyech directly into your team game week 1?
Um, I really like Ziyech as a player. You've seen him for Ajax in the Champions League, but I don't think I would get him in the first week itself. I mean, firstly, I don't again. Chelsea mostly will play him on the right wing. Am I right?
Yes.
So I think he could be a good option for now. I would personally hold out to him, but I feel he's worth taking a risk on. He could turn out to be quite good.
Okay. We have
I think he might
Devonte.
be on set piece duty too.
He might be on. We lost you.
Set piece duty.
I'm not sure. If Mount starts, he'll be on the set piece. That's what I've known at the moment. We have a question from
Okay.
Devonte Black. Do you recommend bringing United and City players and then holding them for game week 1? This is going to be a big question. Honestly, if you
Yeah.
ask me, Devonte, I am not bringing in any United or City player.
I think there are two strategies here. I mean, one of them could definitely be that we hold out on all our United and City players for the first game week, and then use free transfers to get in the required players. Or the other one could be maybe take one United player or City player and bench him for the first one, and then make him substitute him in for the next one. I'm not quite sure which one would be the better option. I think, of course, the second one is a bigger risk, but it could pay off in the long run because see, you're saving a transfer that if you're able to somehow get a fifth midfielder or somebody you can play instead of the United player for one game week, might pay off later on if you want to make other transfers.
Okay. We have a lot of same question. Che Adams or Mitrovic? If you had to pick Mitrovic because he's definitely going to start. He's on penalties as well. So Mitrovic stands out there. Uh, Varun says thoughts on Mahrez. He's 8.5 and good to be true. Honestly, last season with Mahrez, it was a bit on and off. If he's starting, then I would actually, as explained, I would rotate my midfield a lot. So he's starting, then we can actually rotate him for the likes of De Bruyne or maybe Sterling. But a complete position or a nailed on position in the midfield, it's tough because there are much more better options at the moment.
Yeah, I think Mahrez when he plays is fantastic, but just don't know about him as an FPL option yet.
Arman says, "Do you think Willian will perform well for the Gunners?" I think Willian, with the work rate he has, will perform in any team he goes to. Uh, Arsenal under Arteta are doing good, so Willian should be good at the moment.
So, or do you think Willian will be a nailed-on starter for them with
There's
Nicolas
going to be a lot
Pepe
of
playing in a similar?
there's going to be a lot of competition with Pepe, but I think Willian left Chelsea for game time, and if he signs someone like Arsenal, for something like Arsenal, he's bound to get a lot of minutes. So you can look at Willian at 8.8 million, I think 8.0 million, but not over Aubameyang for sure. Saik says best players from Leeds and West Brom. Saik, a video is coming out tomorrow. I think tomorrow evening. So we're going to discuss. We've discussed in detail and all the promoted teams and the best FPL assets out there. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon, and you'll get the notification tomorrow evening. Devonte says the reason I asked because of price rises. The price of them will go up as everyone runs to them, but it doesn't matter a lot. I think looking at the team at the moment, even if there's a rise of point 2 or 3, I would still buy them irrespective. And I think De Bruyne is cheaper than Aubameyang. So the go-to strategy would be getting Aubameyang for the first two game weeks, probably getting De Bruyne at game week 3. Podence or Dendonker, I would actually abstain from both. Probably get in someone like Smallbone or Suchek even if you have to, and or maybe Armstrong if you can. Okay, so we have to complete our team. I think Madison or Barnes I would keep in Barnes at the moment. If to buy a
Yeah.
point 0.5 midfielder, 5.5 or 5. Who do you think is the best? Armstrong? Probably. We 8 million to fill up two positions. That's where it gets tricky actually. I think that's the reason I don't like Trent in my team. Honestly, if I have to make a team for my actual team, a draft for my team, I would actually not put in Trent. I would just go for Gomez, or maybe even not Gomez. I would actually just leave the Liverpool defenders for a while until my wild card.
Personally, I think I have to agree with you in this case because I just don't feel that Liverpool defense is usually a great option other than Trent because they're highly priced. And even if they do give clean sheets, other teams can also be relied on clean sheets. Other than Trent, I would also not keep a Liverpool defender at this time. So if you're planning on, I think, removing Trent, I think there's no point keeping a Liverpool defender at all.
See, I'm saying I'm removing Trent only because first of all they play Leeds. Leeds is a good
Yeah.
attacking side. It's not a bad side. Leeds is a very competitive side. They're going to score. They're going to defend. They're going to give it all. Next, they face Chelsea and Arsenal. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet until game week 3. That's probably when you can bring back the likes of Gomez in. That will save you a lot of money. If
Yeah.
someone is planning to play their wildcard in game week 3, especially in game week 3 or game week 4, I would recommend going without Liverpool defenders. You will get a lot of money to spend in your midfield, and you can get a lot of points there. Whereas if you can try and investing in Trent, but I don't see that clean sheets. If you're relying only on goals and assists, then good luck. But I don't see that a lot of them either as well. So
So
probably invest your money.
what exactly are your views on using the wildcard in game week 3? Do
I
you think it's
think
a good option?
it depends on your strategy. Honestly, I'm looking at a wildcard in game week 8. I think till then I can sustain a team which is good enough. Will give me points on average of 60 per week, and by then it should be good.
Okay.
Devante says, "What do you think about Richarlison?" I think Richarlison is a bit overpriced at 8 million. There are much better options. Until and unless you have a fixture where he's guaranteed to score, wouldn't bring him in. Would Barnes start? If Barnes is fit, he'll start. Both the Burnley Barnes and the Leicester Barnes. Alan says, "Are you playing the wild card early?" No, I'm not going to play the wild card early for sure. I'll make my team and I'll discuss what exactly am I planning. Yellow says, "Don't underestimate the Liverpool defense." We're not underestimating it, but you're underestimating the attacks and the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal. They have improved drastically in the segment of attack, and I think they'll continue to do that as well this season.
I agree. I mean, I don't feel that Liverpool defense is bad at all. I mean, I think, of course, they're the best defensive side probably in the Premier League. But I just feel that all their defenders are a little highly priced for the current situation.
Someone is saying Aurier over Trent. I would disagree with that. I mean, Aurier is a decent shout, but not over Trent. I mean, there's no chance that Aurier is better than Trent. Also, yes, Aurier is linked to AC Milan. He might go, and that would enable us to Sessegnon, who's 4.5. That would be a great deal if that happens. Good for FPL, honestly. So,
Do you
guys,
think Sessegnon will be the one to start on the right back
yes,
position?
yes. If Aurier is sold, he's going to start for sure. There's no backup. There is no chance that Tottenham will play
But
someone
don't you
else.
think Mourinho might sign somebody because
No, no,
Sessegnon
no,
is mostly a left back?
no. I think he's played on the right as well. They have a young academy player who can play on the right, so that will be the backup.
Okay.
I feel Aurier is far better. We discussed that. Robbo is a better idea. If you have to buy a Liverpool defender who's 7 million, then just invest point 0.5 more and get in Trent.
Yeah.
Did we miss out on any major questions? Okay, someone said William will play Cam. I'm not sure on that, Alden. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but if you say so, we'll agree on it at the moment. Okay, so we have two positions left, 10.0 in the bank. Another 4.5 midfielder. What do you think? Who's the next on the list? Actually, I know it's just
Uh,
Taylor. I think it's Taylor, Burnley defender. I mean, you have to get a
yeah.
Burnley defender looking at the fixtures.
So I
Uh,
think we should also, other than Taylor, maybe go for Bardsley or
but I think
Peters.
Taylor is nailed on to start, and he's the most safe option from Burnley. So I would not just risk. I mean, for someone else.
Which
Just
position would Taylor start, do you think?
I'm not really. I think he started on the right wing, if I'm not wrong.
I think it could be Bardsley as well
I'm
who
not.
starts.
I think till I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 99.9% sure that he'll start on the right. Dyer is a good pick. He's 5. If Sessignon is not starting, then Dyer is the next good option. But if Sessignon is starting, if you want someone from Tottenham, then might as well go for him. Thoughts on Kun Aguero? Not necessary. Honestly, we do not know which game is going to start or not. To invest in him, 10.5 million for someone who's not going to start each game week, I would not do that.
So in terms of the Burnley defense, I think Eric Peters at left back is also a good option
Yes,
at 4.5
Eric
million.
Peters is also a good option. Varun says the more we discuss, more game week 3 wildcard looks good. I'll give you strategy, Varun. Just let me complete this draft, and I'll convince you enough that you will also feel that game week 3 might not be the best option. You'll actually get zero point 0.5 more. I would actually remove Ramsdale. Let's get in McCarthy. I feel like he's the keeper to go to. We can actually also go to Emi Martinez if Leno is not fit. I'm not sure if he's fit or not. So once someone can check over that. Okay, we just auto pick. I'm not sure. 6 million. Are they even 6 million midfielder options? Traore is 6.5. I mean, he's decent. McNeil is good. Not much 6 million options, honestly. Let's just go to Saint Maximin. At the moment, let's just pick Saint Maximin and let it be. I think you can actually go over Sun as well over Kane, but that will allow you to have a lot of money to play around with at the attack. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment. In the bank, zero point 0.5. This is how the team looks like. Uh, a couple of players here and there. Ramsdale to McCarthy, yes, that's the move. I think if you want someone from Sheffield United, you could go Thomas to, or maybe Vinagre to. I think Ian Egan's the best option from Sheffield United.
According to the recent reports, it says that Leno mostly will not be fit for the beginning, at least few game weeks, because his shoulder injury apparently, sorry, ligament injury apparently is worsening. So I think Emi Martinez will be the one in goal. So what do you think? Is he a good pick?
I'm not sure of the injury. Yajat says in the chat he's an Arsenal fan and he says that Leno is fit. So going by that, I think if he's fit, then obviously start without a doubt. So we'll have to confirm his
So
injury once. Although if Leno is injured for a while, for about a month or so, so we can plan to Emi Martinez as a second keeper. He's 4.5 as well.
what do you think about Kieran Tierney as an option in the defense?
Uh, I think Saliba is someone who's Arsenal has signed. I would prefer him over Tierney. Tierney is, I think, 5 or 5.5, 5.5.
5.5.
And Saliba is 4.5. If Saliba is starting, I would actually pick Saliba. Decent center
Yes, but
defender.
I think Tierney offers more attacking option
But I
in
think,
terms of
yeah, but the price,
FPL.
honestly, I don't really want to invest a lot in the uh, defense because, especially once you're investing in a Liverpool defender, you don't have much. Also, the fact that you have two premium attackers, two premium midfielders, Mitrovic, and playing five defense. So that just limits a lot of options. Varun, we'll put the league code in a couple of days. Don't worry. We actually plan to put it on the stream as well. There was some technical issues. Sorry for that. Vardy to Werner. I would pick Werner over Vardy. Vardy is proven, is a proven player, but I think Werner will offer more attacking threat than Leicester, as Chelsea is more attacking. And I feel Werner is a better pick than Vardy. Amir Ansari says, who do you pick between Sterling and Ziyech? I would pick Sterling. Ziyech at the moment, I'm not sure how he perform. Let just let him perform him for a couple of game weeks. You'll get to know how he's performing until your wild card. If you're wild carding in game week 3 or 6, so then you can change your mind accordingly. Varun says remove Gomez and upgrade Saint Maximin. Well, we'll just leave it right now. I think I'm going to remove Saint Maximin altogether. Remove Kane, bring in Son, and probably a 6 million attacker. Okay, so we'll now look at the fixtures. First game week, Arsenal good fixture, Liverpool decent. Tottenham, I think it's a tricky fixture. I might actually just not bring in a Tottenham asset as well. They look good in the second week against Southampton, but against Everton, it's a tricky one. Chelsea, amazing fixture, honestly. Leicester is a 50-50 fixture. I'm not sure if that will be that great. Henderson, Liverpool, he's not that a big attacking player, honestly. If you want him as a fifth midfielder, you can get him. But personally, if you have players like Stuart Armstrong and Maximan in your side who are definite starters and will definitely provide you attacking returns, then pick them. Saliba might start from the very first game week. There's no confirmation on it, but I think he'll start. So, okay, my plan is that we play the likes of Southampton against Crystal. We play Crystal Palace defenders as well. Aubameyang plays. Salah is there. Maybe a Spurs asset, a Leicester asset for sure. I would actually not uh, put my hands dirty in the West Ham and Newcastle fixture. Chelsea asset for sure, and maybe a Sheffield United defender or a Wolves defender and a Wolves defender for sure. Yes, Sharma, Anthony Gordon will mostly not start. We've seen him come on as a sub. I think Everton is going to sign a midfielder as well, so he'll not be the first choice player. but he's a decent option if you want him to put on your bench. I'm not sure if he'll start all games. He mostly won't actually. Okay, coming to the second fixture, the strategy I'm going with is I'm going to bring probably keep Obama for another game week. Now the thing is, I want to bring in a Manchester United player as well as a City player. Well, that's going to be the case for everyone out there. So I would actually save my transfer for game week maybe two if needed. Chelsea's Werner to Martial if required. If I don't see Werner performing exceptionally well, and then in game week three we get in. We downgrade Aubameyang to someone like Kevin De Bruyne, and then we can continue having the Spurs assets from them as well. Then as well. What do you think, Anirudh?
Um, I think that could be a good option. I mean, Martial down there from Kane and Kevin De Bruyne too. What do you think about Mason Greenwood as an option? Because I know he is we had a huge price rise, but do you still think he might be a good option at 7.5 million?
I mean, last season he did score a couple of goals. Actually, not a couple of goals, about 5 to 10 goals. But most of them were actually just great finishes, and he was not involved in the attack. If I had to pick someone from United, looking at the prices, I would first go for Rashford. He's a midfielder, classified as a midfielder, 9.5. Sometimes on penalty and sometimes on free kick as well. So that's a good option. Second, I would go for Martial. He's a definite striker. We've seen him score a lot of goals. He has the knack for scoring a lot of goals. And we can see a 15 goal season for him as well. So, Martial is second in line. And I would third go for Bruno. Bruno is highly dependent on penalties. And you don't see a 23 penalty season every year. I mean, if that happens this year as well, I mean, VR should just stop. And literally, it should just stop. Because if a team is getting 23 penalties a season, I mean, there's something wrong. So Bruno stands third in line for me.
So Jack asks, what do you think on Matheus Pereira from West Brom?
Matthias Pereira is a good. I would actually buy him. I would actually keep him in my draft. Initially, I had him for six, but since his fixtures are a bit tough, I did not bring him in at the moment as well. Once his fixtures get better, Matthias Pereira is a very good pick. He's the tailsman for the West Brom team. Is the number 10.
I think we should hold out on focusing on newly promoted teams for now because I think we should wait for a few game weeks. Other than Mitrovic, I think maybe to see if how they'll be in how they'll adjust to Premier League life before actually investing in an option. And
Yes,
Matheus Pereira, I think is about 6.
he's 6 million. You can get him anytime, obviously. But the first three fixtures
Yeah,
are Leicester, Everton, and Chelsea. I mean, you want to look how the team plays before investing 6 million in that player. After that, there's a patch of green: Southampton, Brighton, Fulham, Burnley. So that's when you can invest in him, probably after your wild card. Varun said, a perfect question. When do you think is the perfect time to wild card? Let's discuss the fixture turn. Uh, the fixture turns you might want to target is Manchester United from game week 3, if I'm not wrong. They have a great run of fixtures after that. City also have a great run of fixtures after that. So game week 3 looks like at the moment to target. But the thing with City is that their fixtures are limited to game week 6. After that, they face Sheffield United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Burnley, and United in the next 6 fixtures. For United, the fixture are amazing until probably game week 11, but in between they face Everton, Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, and Tottenham. That's not on paper, they look of difficulty 3, but honestly, they're not of the same difficulty. I mean, I don't see United scoring a lot of goals or even either winning a lot of matches out of them. That's the reason. If you want to get a United player, get him in game week 2. Probably remove Werner if you want, or keep him on your bench. If you had to pick someone from a City or United player for the first 3 game weeks and bench them for the first game week, bench a United player. Greenwood, in my opinion, Yajat is not better than Rashford. I think Rashford will be more involved. He'll score and he'll have the opportunity more. Devontae, we already discussed. Anthony Gordon, you might want to go back a little and hear it.
I think we were going to discuss about the Liverpool players.
Yes, the case for Liverpool. I think Salah is a must. I mean, Salah can score against any team, so I would just not discuss Salah. But the Liverpool defense. So the first people who are playing wildcard, especially in Game Week 3, Arsenal, Chelsea, Leeds have discussed, said this. You don't want to have their defenders. You can actually just go without Trent for the first 3 game weeks. Take the risk. It might backfire. There's a chance there's a slight 10-point buffer that might backfire. But I think apart from that, they might not keep a clean sheet at all. And you might want to get in a 4.5 midfielder for a defender that allows you to keep an extra million in your bank, and then you can upgrade the likes of Barnes to maybe probably Willian or Mitrovic to someone like later on to Ings or Jimenez. That allows you a lot of movement in your team. Jack Rashford, yes, is expensive, but he'll provide more value, honestly. Wildcard till game week 16, I'm not sure, especially with the blank game week in the first week itself. I would play wildcard ideally between 3 and 6, depending on how my team is performing. 3 or 6, for me, it is 8. The target is 8. If things go haphazard, I might play it in 6 or 3 as well. Bamford or Mitrovic, I would play Mitrovic. I'm not sure how Bamford will perform in the Premier League. Premier League is in general a different ball game, altogether different ball game. So you can't depend entirely on the form they had in the championship.
Around the same lines, what do you think about Charlie Austin from West Brom?
Charlie Austin from West Brom, I think he had almost the same number of goals as Robson Kanu, and he also played less minutes. Uh, he could be a good pick, but again, the fact is that he plays lesser minutes than Robson Kanu, and he'll eventually get less time in the Premier League as well. So, if that is the case, you might want not to bring him in your team at the moment. Did we miss out on any questions, guys? If you did not discuss your questions, or if your questions are not answered, put them in the live chat yet again. Robson Kanu as well is getting a bit old, and his pace is not that great. So there's definitely going to be rotation, but then nobody knows at what time. Let's actually try to remove Kane and put in Sun. I'm more of a Sun person. If 7.5 in the bank, see now that's the exact time when you remove someone like Gomez and put someone like Jimenez in. See, that's what I'm talking about. That extra 1 million allows to do a lot of stuff. I can actually auto pick Bennett. We'll just leave Bennett at the moment, but it could be someone like Lamte or probably replace them with someone else as well. So that's not an issue. Lucas Moura more nailed on starter. Lucas Moura will start, but I've always fallen to the Lucas Moura trap in the start of the season, and I do not recommend you guys because honestly, I've seen that Lucas Moura does not start that great. Also, I'll give you a very good strategy if you guys are going without Trent, is that you can downgrade Obama to probably De Bruyne and upgrade Jimenez to Marshall. So that way you have both a City player and a United player from Game Week 3. So that's a strategy or a tip you guys want if you guys want, and you can actually apply that in your teams as well. Another way to save money is that you can remove Mitrovic, get in Bamford, and then again you have point 0.5 in the bank that allows you to go directly Jimenez to Martial next game week, and then Obama to De Bruyne later on. See, Vinagre or Justin? Vinagre. He's more nailed on than Justin. Iheanacho or McBurney, I would just abstain and bring in none of them. Actually, go for Bamford if you're going for someone. If you're going for a very cheap attacker, go for Davies from Aston Villa. We can start with Ings as well. I think Ings the Tottenham fixture is troubling me. Apart I'm just giving an example of what you can do with the extra million you save when you remove a Liverpool defender, with the money you save when you remove a Liverpool defender. What's your take on Lo Celso? He's a cam, and I'm not sure if he'll be really good option for FPL. If you look at him as a player, he's a really good player, but as an FPL option, I think the likes of Son, Mura, Kane are much better picks. McGreen, yes, we just discussed why we should actually look at the prospect of going without Liverpool defense for the first three game weeks, and you can clearly see why my point, and you can see how much budget I'm spending on my attack as well as midfield. I'm not sure if Brewster will be loaned out to someone else, but if he is, then he will start. He's 4.5. The only loany player I'm looking at the moment is Batshuayi. He's 6 million. I think someone on the chat mentioned it ago. If he's loaned out to Leeds and if he's starting, I would actually pick him in instead of Mitrovic.
But yeah, I think if Brewster is loaned out, he will be a good option, especially for a small club.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's
but
4.5.
the
I mean,
question,
he's definitely going to be a good option. Euro says how confident that the new Chelsea players will start out good. I'm not confident about ZH. I'm confident about Werner. Need a 6 million striker for two games. Probably Mitrovic is not good for the both games. I mean, for Leeds it's decent, but apart from that, there's no great 6 million attackers in the game at the moment. You can actually upgrade if you have 1 million to someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yes, Al, then we'll have to keep an eye on the preseason games. Kiran, the next option from Chelsea would be Pulisic if he's fit, obviously. Actually, Pulisic over Ziyech for me, and the third in apart from them, I would pick in Mount. If you're not sure about Barnes, you can actually double up on Werner and Mount because Chelsea's fixture are really appealing. Apart from Liverpool, which they play in Game Week 2, they have Brighton, West Brom, Crystal, and Southampton in their first five. So apart from Liverpool, I think the rest four fixtures are good, and we can see a lot of goals out there. Unless and until Chelsea decide to fuck up everything and they do not want to attack with the likes of Werner and Ziyech as well. Three defenders within 16 million. I would recommend one out of. I think Ferguson is good, 4 million, a 4.5 million defender, which is 9.5, and then you can bring in Trent. That sums up to 16. I think Trent Vinagre Dyer would be 17 or 18. I'm not sure yet. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison for the first few game weeks. If you had to buy someone, buy in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's cheaper. Both are attackers, so you don't have the Richarlison edge of being a midfielder. Go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Armstrong or ASM? You answered that Armstrong. If Dallas starts attacking wise, Dallas is a really good pick attacking wise, but his first fixtures are not that great. Leeds have really tough fixtures for the first six game weeks. I actually want to look how they play, and once after game week 5 on my wild card, and actually I would recommend him on everyone's wild card. If you're going to play your wild card around game week 3 or maybe even 6, get in Dallas for sure. For sure. What do you think, Anil? Varun Baba, wait.
about Dallas, I'm not really. I don't know much about him, but I think it would be a good option for now. Maybe hold out for a few game weeks, as you said. But yeah, after that, I think so.
Yes, his thoughts on Pepe as a punt. I'm not sure if Pepe will start over Villian or how Arsenal will form up. But I think if you want to take an Arsenal player, Aubameyang, and that's it. I would not. Maybe Saliba if he's starting, not over that. Varun says, "Gotta go. Catch you later." We'll be putting the draft we've prepared on Instagram as well. So if you missed out on something, you can check it out there. Douglas from Leeds. It's a decent option, but I would prefer Dallas or maybe the likes of allying over Douglas. Okay, guys, let's just wrap up the stream in a while. Put up your last questions, and then we can just wrap it up. What do you think of Kane instead of Son? He'll take up 1.5 of your budget. Although he'll definitely score over Son, but if you want to save money and go from a 6 million attacker to Ings, then you might want to take Son in your team. FPL League Code, we'll post that as well on Instagram, and we'll put that on the live stream as well the next time. So don't worry. Today, because of technical glitch, we could not put that up, but next time it will be there. Hi, Bharat. Manash says keep Calvin Philip on the watch list. I'm not sure if he's the same Philip, but I think I'm keeping one Philip. He's from West Brom, and he's on my watch list after Matthews Pereira. Ings or Jimenez for the first 6 game weeks. We'll have to check with the fixtures. I
I
think Wolves
think I
have a better
think
fixture after
Calvin Phillips is talking about. I think Calvin Phillips is talking about the CDM from Leeds United.
uh, from Leeds United. Okay, he's here. He's 5. CDM, I'm not sure. I'm not seen Leeds play honestly. So I'm not sure if you have to buy a CDM. And generally you want to avoid CDMs in FPL. With Ings or Jimenez for the first 6 fixtures, I would pick in Jimenez. Isin, hi. You should consider Everton players having good fixtures after Spurs. They have a good fixtures, but the point again is down to over who. So we can pick the likes of Sigurdsson if he's in good form over Barnes, but that entirely depends on how Everton perform. He's not on Everton is not on the priority list. Obviously, there's Tottenham and Arsenal and probably Southampton, Liverpool, Chelsea. But then if they're performing good, you'll want to bring in players. But it says, is Yota a good pick since he's a midfielder now? I'm not sure if Yota will be starting at all. So we'll have to check that. Yes, if he starts, he's a good pick. Alden's bench fodder options, Alden, Ferguson is good. Brathwaite, if he's starting after the first game week, it's good. Ben Johnson from West Ham is good. Mitchell won't be starting for long. Okay, guys, so we'll wrap up the stream here. It was good to have you guys back. It was good to have Anirudh on the stream. Thanks for joining us, Anirudh.
Thank you, guys.
So it was a good first team. We'll post the team on Instagram, so make sure you follow us on Instagram as well at FPLTIPS underscore underscore. And tomorrow or probably Sunday, mostly tomorrow, we'll be releasing a video, in detail video of the best FPL assets from the promoted teams. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't and hit the bell icon to get the notification for the video. Till then, this is FPL Tips signing
That's
off. Cheers.